Hi, it's Rob from the Bush and Boltgun. Today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to paint an Angels Sanguine chapter badge. If you'd like to support the channel, our Ko-fi and Patreon pages are linked below. Now on to the video. So the first colour we're going to use is Vallejo White, but whichever white you use is fine. All we're going to do is start by painting the skull for the Angels Sanguine chapter badge. So we're going to start with a circle of white. This is going to be the basis for the skull, the top part of the skull, like the cranium and the eyes, that kind of area. Then we're going to do two angular pieces, like a little bit sticking out on one side, a little bit sticking out on the other. And that is going to be where the cheekbones are. And from there you're going to have a little squarish kind of bit coming down. That is where you're going to have the teeth. So now that you've got this in place, you can work on the cranium, get the cranium so it's slightly more oval. And smooth out any edges that you want to. Like so. Now we're going to use a little bit of Vallejo Black. We're going to paint on the eyes and the nose, and also a few little lines for the teeth. I always start with the nose by doing a little triangle in the middle. So a triangle doesn't have the bottom edge to it, so you've got that little raise in the middle of the nose, and then paint the eyes on. Now what you find when you're painting these, or what I find when I'm painting them anyway, is that you'll paint the eyes on, and the eyes will make you realise that the nose is slightly off to one side, or one eye's bigger than the other. Whichever it is, or one eye's higher than the other, just use a little bit of Vallejo White, whichever white you're using, and then you just go over those and tweak them. And as always with the freehand, you just nudge those into the right place. Once you've got those, you can do little thin vertical lines just to separate that piece at the bottom, which is where the teeth are. And you can just separate them so that you've got those little teeth at the bottom. This is going to be a really tiny chapter badge, so when you're playing on the tabletop, you're not going to be too close, but it's nice to be able to do it. So I'm going to use Mephiston Red now to do the wing on each side. Now these are kind of like the Blood Angels wings. I'll link up the Blood Angels chapter badge tutorial here. They're not like the Dark Angel ones, which are more straight and angular. The Blood Angels ones are a bit more curved and shaped. What I found when I was doing these is that by just going for it, I made them look very, very small. It just kind of looked a bit like Krusty the Clown's hair, or Pennywise's hair, sticking out on both sides really. So after the initial doing of the hair on this, it'll then get tweaked and tweaked and tweaked until it's in the right place. This gives you the general idea of how you go about it. You put that curved line in around the head, and if you're using the picture of the chapter badge, you can see where that line goes from on top of the head and where it goes down to on the side of the head. Make sure you get those points right, and then you can work out roughly where those kind of feathery bits sticking up go, how deep that flat red piece is, and the angles that those feathery bits go to. So it's looking a little bit Pennywise there. When we add the other one, it'll look quite a bit more, but we'll tweak that and get that into the right place. So skipping between the Mephiston Red and Vallejo Black here, just tweaking up the centre of the hairline and where it goes down to, making sure that goes down to the right place. When you can see me holding it so that I'm looking at the chapter badge vertically, I'm holding that up and looking at the picture of the chapter badge online to work out why it's looking a little bit wonky and not quite right. And when I suddenly realise what's going on with it, it's not too long of a fix for it, to be honest, just a bit of tweaking here and there to get it all looking in the right place. But as with all freehand, you just do a little bit, tweak it, do a little bit, tweak it, and keep holding it up so it's the same way as the image that you're copying to see where it has gone wrong. No, for me, 9 times out of 10, it probably will. I'm just looking at the picture of the chapter badge against a proper picture of the chapter badge, seeing where it looks right and where it looks wrong. And I realised somewhere around here where the image has gone wrong slightly, and it's lower on one side than the other. So we then start to tweak this. See here I'm shaping the bottom of that first feather and roughly putting in where the other feathers would be. You can start working them into the correct shape. As is always the way, I prefer one side more than the other, so I start going back up and down it, trying to work out how to get them a bit more symmetrical. But this is the basic method. By tweaking that, I realised that the bottom of the hair is sticking out too much. It should be a little bit closer to the skull. Like that. So by extending those feathers in, and then just cutting down the side so the feathers are shorter at the bottom than they are at the top, by quite a margin, then you can tweak those feathers using a bit of Mephiston Red. And same again here, we're just going to slice off the end of those feathers so that you get them roughly the right length. And use a little bit of Mephiston Red to tweak those feathers and get those in the right place. And a little bit of black just to put those feather kind of grooves in the side, bits that go between the feathers. So here, just tweaking the bottom of that so it gets it the same shape as the wing on the other side. And just tweaking that top bit so there's a bit more of a space between the two wings on the top of the head. As always, if there's anything you'd prefer to change on it, just keep tweaking until you're happy with the overall effect. Like so. So that's the finished Angels Sanguine chapter badge. I'm pretty pleased with how that turned out. I think with a bit more practice, be able to get that nailed. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you have, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future content. Also, think about subscribing to some of our other social media, linked below. Thanks very much. If you like the channel and you enjoy the content and you'd like to support us, our Coffee and Patreon pages are linked below. Thanks very much.